Welcome back. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to another video. Let's have a conversation tonight about the competitors of Nvidia. And if you're checking me out from wherever you're checking me out from, do me a favor. You might want to come over to YouTube because over on YouTube is where we'll actually probably share our screen quite a bit here in just a bit. But we want to talk about Nvidia stock. Who are their competitors? What's the name of the competitors? What's the ticker symbols of the competitors? Who are they? Where are they? What industries are they in? What markets are they in? Let me know if you can hear me, guys, as you come in here by giving me a thumbs up. Just let me know if you can hear me okay and if you can't hear me okay. Now, I know that it's Thursday, and we've got a lot of people who are just getting themselves geared up and can't wait for this presidential debate, the U.S. presidential debate that's happening tonight. So I'm not going to be before you long because I know a lot of you want to go check that out, and I'm cool with that too. Hey, at some point, guys, in a few weeks, we want to start talking about the economy from the presidential standpoint, whether that's going to be, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, what's the differences? We're going to hit on that a little bit as well on this channel because we look at the big picture of money as well as individual stocks, ETFs, index funds, money management, etc. We also want to look at the big picture. Huge election year coming up. So we're going to talk about that a little bit down the road as we get closer to there, just to see where we are with those candidates and how are they gonna what is the economy gonna look like under each one of them. I do want to touch on that a little bit because it's important for not only investors but us as regular consumers as well. But tonight's topic is Nvidia stock, and we want to talk about their competitors. So if you want to get out your pen, your paper, or take some notes, because I'm going to give you a bunch of Nvidia competitors that you need to know about, that you need to be aware of, that you need to possibly do your research on and actually strongly consider investing in them. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Appreciate you giving me that. Let me know where you're coming from, by the way, what city, what state, what country, etc. And let's just have the conversation tonight. And let's go over all of the competitors that NVIDIA has in front of them, right? Who are all of these competitors that NVIDIA has in front of them? And like I said, I'm not going to hold you long tonight, but I am going to give you, kind of want to go through this to give you guys a good feel, sort of like maybe I'm doing a little bit of the research for you, and that's okay too, right? But we know that NVIDIA closed today, trading at $123.99. Still not back where it was at $135, $139, right? So it's still kind of languishing in that middle range right there where it's not boosting up, not coming down, but kind of sticking where it is. And I think that's going to change as we move closer to their next earnings report that's going to come out here shortly. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Good evening to you, C. White. Can't wait. Gold ambition. Yeah, we're gonna dig into some of the things happening with the presidential race and how that affects us as investors, us as consumers in America. So we'll talk about that. Salute out to you, Sleeby Dubs. Let's see, just bought some Palantir. Good for you. Seattle, Washington's here. NVIDIA to the moon, perhaps. We'll see. Hey, Sam, good to have you. Kirkland, Washington here. Northeast Florida, Seattle, Detroit. Somebody said Broadcom and SMCI. We're going to give you some ticker symbols, and I'm going to go in detail to tell you this information, guys, because I want you to be an informed investor. So if you're here on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, welcome. Glad to have you here. St. Louis in the house. Aretha, good to have you. Raleigh, North Carolina, East St. Louis. I'm missing a few guys, but bear with me. All right. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's go ahead and jump into this thing, guys. So NVIDIA has competitors, and I think as good, informed, solid consumers and investors, we need to be aware of who those competitors are. And I'm going to name them. So because I want you to sort of have a head start on this thing, right? The one thing about the stock market is if you've heard a bunch of stuff about it, sometimes it's too late. Right? So I want to give you this play on competitors so you can be sort of ahead of the curve a little bit, right? We know that Nvidia plays in the GPU space, graphic processing units, right? We know they play in the machine learning space where, machines learn from data, and they could be unseen data and they learn from it. They don't need where the machine doesn't need a whole bunch of explicit instructions to do what it got to do. Nvidia plays in that space. We know Nvidia is a leader in the data center space, and data centers are just physical locations, guys, that house a bunch of computers and hardware, software, for infrastructure, for AI, and for IT systems, the servers, the storage units, all that stuff, network equipment, all that stuff is stored at a data center. NVIDIA is a leading data center player, right? NVIDIA also plays in the automotive space, automotive technology, self-driving cars. They play in a space called edge computing, right? They play in the semiconductor space. They definitely have been playing in the gaming space for the last 30 years. They play in, NVIDIA plays in the cryptocurrency space, right? With mining cryptocurrency. AI, or NVIDIA plays in generative AI, right? Similar to machine learning, which means they use large amounts of data to create new content on its own, right? NVIDIA plays in those spaces: hardware, software, frameworks, platforms, and tools, right? Language, they got LLMs, large language models. This is all the places where NVIDIA plays, and this is why they're so effective and why they've grown so much along with AI, right? So, who are NVIDIA's competitors for some of these sectors? Each of these sectors, right? NVIDIA, we know, is a major player, but they got some folks that are coming on their heels, and you should know about them. Oh, maybe I should share this before I jump into the actual. Well, I'll jump into a few of them. First of all, GPUs, graphic processing units. Let's talk about some of the competitors of NVIDIA in that space. By the way, guys, as you come in, hit the like button for me, right? And my connection is pretty good right now, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be okay. Hit that like button for me. Share the link to this video. If you have a friend or somebody you know who's looking to invest or who is looking to maybe buy some NVIDIA, not quite sure, teetering on the edge, send this link to them, because they're going to get information about NVIDIA, but they're going to get information about who is going to be competing with NVIDIA in the next couple of years. Now, to what extent these people are going to, these companies are going to be competing, I don't know that, right? I'm not sure about the extent. Nobody knows that, right? But the point is that here's the players in the graphics processing unit, GPUs, where NVIDIA's the leading player. Okay. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. You want to write them down as a potential competitor that if you want to play in the technology space, you should look at their stock. You should look at their company, their profits and losses, their earnings statements, what's coming up, right? You should be looking at AMD. And I'll mention AMD several times on this video because they play in a lot of different spaces, just like NVIDIA does, okay? Intel, you need to look at Intel. If you're looking at the GPU space, right, you want to look at Intel. You also want to look at Qualcomm, okay? Qualcomm, I think they said, is in the mobile GPU space, right? So you want to look in there when we're talking about GPUs. Those are three other competitors of NVIDIA that you need to be paying attention to. Hey, Greenville, North Carolina, good to have you. Let's see here. Appreciate you, Sam. Thanks for coming on. Alvira, good to have you. Alvira's up in Queens, New York. Good to have you here. Let's see. AMD is years away from NVIDIA. Listen, all of these companies could be years away. But let me enlighten you on something, guys. Some of the things we talk about could be a year away, could be a year and a half away, could be 2 years away. Guess what? If a company is 2 years away from NVIDIA, that's probably a company that you need to be investing in or strongly considering investing in if you invest in individual stocks. Okay? If you invest in individual companies, you want to be 2 years ahead. You don't want if AMD is 3 years out from Nvidia and really being a strong competitor in the AI space, you want to know about it today. You don't want to know about it in 2 years or 3 years, right? That's the purpose of the video. Appreciate you saying that, by the way. Let's see who said that. Stock market said that. Let's see here. Let's talk about AI and machine learning. Who is going to be the players? Who are some of the players in machine learning? Well, we know it's Google, right? Right. We know Google is there. We also want to look at IBM, right? IBM is wanting to be a player. Are they a big player? No. But we know IBM's been around for 50, 60 years. They want to be a player in the machine learning space. Of course, you can't forget about Microsoft in the AI and machine learning space as well. And you also don't want to forget the company that just went over $2 trillion evaluation market cap, which is Amazon and Amazon's web services. They are going to be they're going to want to be a player in the machine learning space as well. And we're going to get to Broadcom, by the way, Sam. We're going to talk about a lot of them. I'm saying you may want to rewind this thing, take a few notes, because I'm going to give you some of the players that you need to be watching 2 years ahead of time, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ahead of time. Okay. Now, if you invest in ETFs and index funds, if you may want to consider a stronger technology ETF, maybe an MGK. What are some of the ticker symbols for strong technologies at State Street, BlackRock, you name it, right? Some of their iShares, Fidelity, Schwab, some of the IT heavy ETFs and index funds. Let's talk about data centers, because I mentioned earlier data centers. Nvidia is a big player, huge player, the biggest player in data centers right now, right? But there's other players in data centers. And don't forget, data centers have to be updated. So whenever you're doing your research on individual stocks, look at companies that are going to be involved in the upgrade of data centers, right? Because any company that's going to be involved in the upgrade of data centers is going to be a company that will play a nice solid role in this AI sort of reboom that we'll have here in a year or so, right? Could be 2 or 3 years, could be right now, right? So let's talk data centers. One of the big ones, a major competitor, it's going to be a major competitor, is Intel, right? Intel. And again, AMD data centers. Don't forget about Google, right? Google I think Google uses some type of, I think I read custom, what do they call TPIs, or I think I have that right, or TPUs maybe, right? Google will be a player in data centers. Amazon will be a player. Amazon Web Services, Amazon AWS. Amazon is going to be a player in data centers, right? Let's talk automotive. I'm trying to give you these different sectors, different areas where Nvidia has some competitors that will be coming on shortly, 2 or 3 years. But the sooner you get this information, the better, right? So automotive, okay? Qualcomm has some, I think they have some like autonomous, driving software and so forth that they employ. Qualcomm, QUALCOMM, Intel. Of course, if we're talking automotive technology and we're talking AI, we have to talk Tesla, right? We know that Tesla is going to be heavy in the AI space. Is it XAI, right? So we're talking automotive technology. Tesla is obviously going to be a player. I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, they slipped, right? And then I don't know how to pronounce it. HUAWEI, Hawaii, right? They're going to be a player in the automotive sector as well. So be looking out for them. These are Nvidia stock competitors. Who are they? Nvidia's not playing this game by themselves, guys. And because they're not playing the game by themselves, we got to know who else is out there, right? We got to know who else is out there. Let me see if I can't pull up a quick as you guys know, I like to pull up share my screen here and there as well. Okay, so let me share my screen if I can. Give me a second. Nah, I don't think I can on this one. Let's go here. Okay, give me a second here, guys. Nope, can't find it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Not going to share my screen just yet. All right. We talked about edge computing, right? Intel, AMD, Google, and Amazon. That's the competition for edge computing. Who are NVIDIA's competitors in the semiconductor space? That's a big one. The semiconductor space is big for for NVIDIA. Again, you have AMD with AMD products, right? Again, you have Intel. Again, you have Qualcomm. And somebody mentioned Broadcom. Broadcom is going to be a major player as well. Broadcom is going to compete across the board in semiconductors, right? Networking, wireless communications, all that good stuff, right? But semiconductors, you're going to see Broadcom. By the way, Broadcom is doing a split. I think it's a 10-to-1 split coming up in July, right? Right now, Broadcom is trading at $1,586. Sort of trending down, right? Have been trending down over the last couple of days after a high at, I think, 1,800 something per share. Now down to 1,586 per share. But as they ramp up to this split, I think they're going to actually see some increases, okay? I can't guarantee anything. I'm not here to guarantee anything. I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I'm not here to tell you what to invest in. I'm here to give you things to think about so you can go and do your own research and make your own decision. I am not a stock market guru. I don't claim to be. I don't want to be. I'm just somebody that knows something about the market, and I want to share that and give that information to you, okay? So I like to get that clear. I'm not claiming to be an internet or a stock market guru at all, ever. However, I'm going to give you some things to think about. And again, this one won't be long because I know some of you want to get to that debate, right? Is anybody watching the debate tonight between the two presidential candidates? Let me know in the chat if you're going to watch that debate or not. I think some folks will. So everybody won't. We got some folks from different countries in here. So I'm sure some people don't care about it. But if you're going to watch it, let me know in the chat if you're checking that out, because I think some people are going to watch it. Some people are going to not watch it. Some people are going to cringe. Some people won't cringe. I think that's pretty it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens. Unfortunately, we know we got some older guys that are going for the presidency here in America. But what they decide to do, it could make a slight difference on the overall economy, the overall landscape of the stock market. So I think it is important to at least think about and perhaps address on this channel at some point. I think we'll check it out, and we might talk about it here in a few weeks, because as it gets closer, I mean, the decisions that could be made could be important for us as investors, as consumers. So let's see. Aretha said she plans to watch. Miss Moore, another Miss Moore, said, "No, I'm going to catch the highlights." Somebody say, "Yeah, love your disclaimer." Smart. Thanks, Alvira. Yeah, I got to make that disclaimer. Somebody said, "Yes, sir. I'm going to be watching it." Then somebody says, "Yep, I do. Let's see. Somebody said, "Trump win is great news for Nvidia investors." Somebody's on the Trump train. Looks like I'm watching the debate. Good for a laugh, said Vancouver. It'll be interesting to see it. Sometimes it becomes more theater than substance when you talk about these debates. And I like to see if I'm going to listen to it, I want to hear some substance. So I'm just hoping that it's going to be some type of substance in terms of what Americans can expect and so forth. So, but it's coming up, and so I don't want to hold you guys too long on this one. But I thought this was a really really important video because we're looking at Nvidia and as Nvidia has pulled back, some of the hysteria around Nvidia is going away, rightfully so, because I think Nvidia is coming back in line with what its true value is right now. But at the same time, that still doesn't preclude the fact of the earnings report and when it comes out is going to be amazing. And however, at the same time, we got to remember there's some other Nvidias that are happening right now all around us, right? There's some Nvidias that are trading at $100 right now, that are trading at $75 right now, that are trading at $200 right now, that are going to be major players in the next few years in the AI space. Our goal is to identify those companies early, identify those good, solid companies that are ripe for growth, that are positioning themselves for growth today, right? And that's the whole purpose of what we want to talk about here, is so that we don't get people don't come late to the party. Because once all the exuberance happens and everybody gets in a frenzy, everybody's hyped up, everybody's, yeah, let's go buy this, go buy that. Guess what happens? You're kind of in there late, right? Imagine the person that bought at $1,200 per share, the 10-to-1 split happened. Now they're at $120 per share, and they're not seeing the growth that they thought they were seeing when it went from 800 to 900 to 1,000, right? And I understand that you don't panic on anything like that, guys. You don't want to panic. You would just want to understand there's other companies out there, and probably one of the biggest threats to Nvidia, their reign on the market, AI market, is going to be these competitors that we're mentioning in this video, right? Question: which of the semiconductors do you think are going to come in second place? Now, I haven't done my research on all of them. Okay. I really haven't done my thorough research on all of them. Good question, Sam. But I think Broadcom has a chance. I really do. Now, I don't want to dig too deep in there because I want you to do your own research, right? But when I look at, I don't want to, downplay AMD, right? I'm not a big fan of Intel, but I don't want to downplay AMD. But I think Broadcom, based on what I'm seeing in terms of, that's one of the few that I've done some research on. I think they've got a chance over the next few years to compete in the semiconductor space. Let's see. Donna said, I'm watching the debate. No matter who wins, no matter if it will be interested. No doubt. No doubt. Daryl says, I'm interested. Machine learning will help AI. Yes, I agree with that. NVIDIA has a problem. They need to make their chip. Not sure what you're saying there, Jay. If you want to say that a little differently, I don't want to misquote you there. Let's see. Jace is panicking. AMD. Very possible for AMD. Let's see. Hello from Colorado. What do you think about Rivian? I haven't done any research on them. I can check them out. So let's keep going because I want to keep going. Semiconductors is one thing, but I also want to talk about a few others in the semiconductor space, not just Intel, not just AMD, not just Qualcomm, not one I like in Broadcom, but also you cannot forget about Samsung, right? Samsung has processors too, right? Which they're on the mobile space, on the mobile device space, right? Samsung is. But you cannot forget about the fact that Samsung who has been around for a long time, they manufacture semiconductors as well. Memory chips, all those chips as well. Samsung is there as well. And I'm going to throw another one at you. TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, right? They're one of the leaders out there right now as well. They're up there in terms of manufacturing chips for NVIDIA and for NVIDIA's competitors, TSMC. That's TSMC, right? So are they a competitor necessarily? Not necessarily, because they're a slightly different space, but they're out there and they could become a major player more so than they are in the semiconductor space as well, right? ARM Designs or ARM Holdings is another one. And I think I had that on my list. Let me check my list. Yes, I think they are there. ARM Holdings, right? Also, don't forget about the number two company in the world right now, which is Apple. Apple may end up becoming a large player in the semiconductor space, right? And of course, one more, MediaTek. There it is. MediaTek is one as well, right? These companies are all key players in that semiconductor industry, and they offer, unique products. They offer solutions. They offer the same types of things that Nvidia offers, right? And they're going to compete with Nvidia across various markets in the AI space, right? Here's another space that I think is very, very interesting to talk about, and most people sort of forget about it in terms of Nvidia and in terms of AI, but that's the gaming industry. Now, guys, Nvidia first started in the gaming industry, and they've been a major player in the gaming industry for 30 years. Oh, by the way, let me share this with you. Do me a favor before I do that. You got to hit that thumbs up button for me if you're watching here on YouTube. Please do me a favor and hit the like button for me, right? Let's get this information out about NVIDIA's competitors. Who are they? Let's get this information out as much as possible. So please consider sharing the video. Sam asked a great question. How should the semiconductors come together in shielding Taiwan from a Chinese invasion? There could be an issue there when we're talking semiconductors, right? Because of the China and Taiwan, and I can't really answer that question, Sam. I'm not sure, right? I don't really know enough about that in order to make a intelligent statement. So I can't really answer that question, Sam. I have to do a little more research on that, right? I just want to be honest with you, right? I don't know as much as I want to know about that, but I'll look it up for sure. Let's talk about gaming. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, the gaming industry is nearly a $300 billion industry. Let me say it again. The gaming industry is nearly a $300 billion industry. The gaming industry is bigger than the movie industry in America. The gaming industry is bigger than the movie industry and the music industry combined, right? The music industry worldwide is, I think the figure was $31 billion. The music industry worldwide, I think the figure was around 90 billion worldwide. The gaming industry is nearly 300 billion. The gaming industry is bigger than the music industry and the movie industry combined. Twice. It's more than twice those other industries. So the gaming industry is huge. And people that aren't into gaming don't really realize how big gaming is. But it's an enormous industry worldwide. The number one player in the gaming industry is Nvidia. But Nvidia has some competitors in the gaming industry, right? Nvidia has competitors in the gaming industry that you need to know about. Somebody said Nvidia is solid for the next 10 years. No doubt. No doubt. But guess what? People are ready to compete against Nvidia. They're startups that are ready to compete with Nvidia. Startups. Guys are listen, 2 and 3 guys are sitting in dorms all across America today, creating, inventing stuff in the AI space that are ready to compete with Nvidia, right? Now, this is important to know if you're an investor. Let's talk gaming. Who are the competitors in the gaming industry? Of course, we're going to mention AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. They're there. Of course, we're going to mention Intel, who's creating a GPUs that's going to compete with NVIDIA's gaming GPUs, right? Of course, we're going to mention one that I haven't mentioned yet is Sony. We know there's Sony PlayStation consoles, the PS this and the PS that, right? But Sony, I think, uses some AMD GPUs to help them become a competitor in the gaming industry. We're talking hardware primarily for Sony. Don't forget Microsoft's with Xbox and all that good stuff, right? I know it's not at the same level, but it's coming in the gaming industry. There's Microsoft, there's Qualcomm, of course, there's Apple, right? MediaTek is another one. Tech is spelled TEK, right? Valve's, where's it at? Let me find it before I say it. Valve Steam Deck, right? Handheld gaming devices, right? There's a lot of research and things go with handheld gaming devices, right? So there's competitors who are looking to compete with Nvidia in the gaming industry, right? Who are some of Nvidia's overall biggest competitors that we've talked about in the general AI space, right? AMD. Let me go through this before I run down that list of them. Let me go back into the chat real quick. Somebody said Nvidia plus Amazon plus Apple, you need those and lots of them. Perhaps. All right. Somebody mentioned Intel. Somebody said CNBC is talking about a recession now, which could hurt earnings, which data coming in bad, and even the home sales was down, etc. Yeah, that happens. We're going to have a recession, or not a recession, but we're going to have a down market. It's going to be a market crash. That happens. It's not. There's no secret, right? Remember, Nintendo Switch uses NVIDIA chips on the current console and will have NVIDIA on their Switch too. Exactly. True. Somebody said, how long do you think NVIDIA can keep their premium pricing considering they're so far ahead? How long before they have to drop in price? I think NVIDIA has at least a year, at least a 2 or 3 year head start on every firm that we're mentioning here in this space. But that's not to say that they're going to be on top forever. That's not to say in 5 years, NVIDIA slips to number 2 or 3 in the AI space, right? We don't know that. Great question, though. Appreciate it. We just don't know. Somebody said TSMC is building a $65 billion facility in Arizona, part of the CHIPS Act. There you go. Good point. Thanks for bringing that out. Somebody said, what about Oracle? Oracle could be there. I've never been a big fan of Oracle, right? I've never been a big fan of Oracle. Oracle's been around a long time, too, right? I think they're trading. I just pulled it up. They're trading $140 right now. Year to date, they've had an upswing, right? 5-year period, they've been on an upswing as well, So I'm just not a big fan of Oracle. Never have been. But if you are and do your research, feel free. Have at it. Good one to mention, that's for sure. Right? AMD is a big player in the AI space, the overall AI space. Intel is a big player in the overall AI space. We know that Google is a big player in the overall AI space. Microsoft, huge, investing heavily in AI, right? Through their cloud platforms. IBM, I think their strategy is, I think they have an opportunity, especially in the hardware space, right? Obviously. right? And IBM plays in places like healthcare and stuff like that, right? That's where IBM and there's room for AI in the healthcare arena, right? So I think IBM could be a player. Obviously, Amazon and Apple are huge players in the AI space. Now, these are many of these companies are currently the customers of Nvidia. But if you're Apple or if you're Amazon, how long are you going to be a customer when you have the money to develop the same chip, perhaps at a cheaper price? How long are you going to be a customer of AI, of Nvidia for AI software and hardware, when you have the capacity to be a competitor, not and compete well with bigger, badder, cheaper stuff? It's not going to be long before, Microsoft and Google say, let us create our own chips. Let us create and start our own data centers, and we think we can do it better, right? If you're a global, I forgot to mention this company, but if you're a global investor, there's a company called Baidu, Baidu. It's a leading tech company over in China. They've been developing AI chips, right? And I mentioned earlier Huawei, not sure how to pronounce it, Huawei, right? So China has two or three companies that are major players in this AI space. Not that you could invest in China, but if you could, something to think about. They're competing. Who's to say that just because we're not buying from China, China's not selling to everybody around the world, right? There's also the space of generative AI. Generative AI, whether you have OpenAI, right? Where you have Google, where you have Microsoft, where you have IBM and Amazon and Meta. Don't forget about Meta. I haven't really mentioned them, right? But Meta has an AI research lab like everybody else, right? Right? Generative AI has its competitors as well. I didn't mention Alibaba. I didn't mention GraphCore. Those are competitors as well. Right? In the generative AI space, that's who's playing. Now, we talk about overall market cap in the AI space. And I think the biggest players in there is AMD and Intel, right? And I think Broadcom's market cap is pretty high as well. Another company I didn't mention yet is Texas Instruments, TI, right? I think I mentioned Samsung, but I'm giving you all of these different companies that are not potential, that are NVIDIA competitors, because you got to know them, right? You got to know them. This is the point, guys. If you're an NVIDIA investor or you're an investor in NVIDIA, you have to know that people are on their heels. People are coming, right? Somebody said Tesla is going to rocket in robotics. Tesla's a player, right? They've seen their stock go down quite a bit, but Tesla's a player. No, they're not in the Max 7 anymore. And I think it could be 3, 4 years, 2, 3, 4 years when you see these other competitors come up. See, somebody said IBM is going to be a beast. Jay said, okay, not mad at you. But technology has been on an incredible run in the last 10 years. Intel will catch up for sure, said Ruben, possibly. No way, it's not that easy to create a chip to compete, let alone beat NVIDIA. You're right, Vancouver, it's hard. But when you can throw billions of dollars at research, at technology, at people, you'd be surprised at what you can do when you have the capacity to throw, billions of dollars of research into something. It's possible. All right. How you doing, Skywalk? Good to have you. Hey, to you guys that are on Facebook, shout out to you guys that are on LinkedIn as well. I see you. Good. Question: do you have cooling system companies in mind when considering these large data centers? that require chill temperatures. Yes, they do require chill temperatures, right? I don't have any in mind at this point, but that's a great point. Glad you brought that out, Sam. Yes, those companies could be players as well when we go to upgrade, update, change out, right? Data centers. Good point. And of course, the other thing about that, when we're talking about those those chill, that the coolers, those systems, those companies that do that. Also, we got to think about those energy companies that could be playing a major role in the upgrade of the manufacturer as well as the data centers, right? Those energy companies that are going to be providing the energy specifically for AI hardware, right? So thanks for bringing that up. Good point. Utah's in the house. Good to have you here. Let's see. People thinking no one could ever compete with Nvidia need a reality check. I think that's true, wealthy investor. I think that's true. The reality check is there's some solid, well-run companies out here that are definitely going to be competing in a major way here shortly. And I say shortly, meaning 2 to 3 years. The key is, as an investor, you don't want to sit around and sit on your hands and wait to see who emerges. Because when you wait to see ask all the people who didn't pick up Nvidia 5 years ago when it was trading at $35 a share. And then it went to $1,200 per share. The people who had 10 grand to drop into a company like Nvidia when it was trading at $50 per share, right? Where would you be now? That's something you got to think about as a consumer and an investor. The other thing I don't want to leave out, my ETF people and my index fund people, right? Because index funds and ETF people, you still can play in this game too, but you want to get those ETFs and index funds that are heavy technology if you desire that, right? Somebody said, do I have a video on my stock research process? No, but if you go to my description of this channel, this YouTube video on YouTube, there will be a link. The first link you'll see will be a link to my other membership page. And as a member over there, we're going to be digging deep into stock research, deeper into a portfolio that I'm putting together that's investing in individual stocks. It also invests in ETFs and index funds, but we're talking about a lot of individual stocks over there. We're doing behind the scenes over there. We're going to be doing, Q&As. We're doing all that over there. And we just got that going a few weeks back. And so I took the join button off of YouTube, and you can join us over there. You can join us free, or you can join us as a paid member. You get a lot more information. You get all the videos when we're talking about a paid membership over there. It's over on Patreon. But we're going to do that over there, guys. We're going to dig deeper. And I already put up a video, I think several days ago, describing the process I'll be going through. And I'm going to put another video up over there in a couple of days, going a little deeper, because we're developing a stock market checklist, things to look for, from the financials to the company to the owner to the outlook, all that good stuff. We're putting all that together over there on that page. So the first link in the YouTube description box under this video will have a link to that. Also down there, you can get your 24 Laws of Money free ebook from me to you. If you're not a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. We're hitting money. We're hitting the economy. We're hitting the stock market. We're hitting how to manage your money, how to budget your money, all those good things. We talk about quite a bit of that on this channel. So feel free to join the channel if you're not a subscriber. All right. Somebody says, what do you think about entertainment like Disney? I'm not a fan of Disney. I don't really do a lot with entertainment stocks. And one of the reasons I don't do a lot with entertainment stocks because I don't like the entertainment they put out. And I'm a person that likes to invest using my morals and values. If I don't like what I see Disney is putting out, I'm not going to invest in Disney. Okay. Call me strange, call me weird. That's okay if you do. I don't mind. I've been called much worse. But I like to sort of invest in terms of, I don't know what you want to, what do they call that? Moral invest. I don't know what it is, but I don't, I'm not the person that's gonna, but I just don't like Disney. So I don't invest in Disney. I don't like what Disney does and what they put out and all that stuff. Not a fan of Disney. So I don't invest in them. I don't invest in somebody that I really don't believe in or don't, I just don't invest just for the money, right? I invest because I believe in the company, I believe in what they do, et cetera, right? And so that's kind of how I handle Disney. If that's weird or not, I don't know. But Broadcom is 200 billion away from a 1 trillion cap. That seems like a far-fetched, far away, Sam, but I don't think it's necessarily that far. Broadcom is moving. They're doing some good things there. Let's see here. Good point. Boom, boom, boom. How about 45 cents per share? Yeah, 45 cents per share at one point. Absolutely. Nvidia was, right? Ethical investing. Maybe that's what it is. Miss Moore said. Ethical investing, right? Somebody said Disney's evil creeps. Vancouver said. Let's see here. That's great. That's how I invest too. Yeah, I just be honest with you guys. I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. If I don't like what they're doing out there with that company, then I'm not going to throw my money at that company because I just don't want to do that. That's not what I'm not just chasing, oh, chase the dollar. They could be, doing all kind of crazy stuff and stuff I don't like or believe in. And that's just not what I do. So I appreciate that. Yeah. In ethical investing is what it's called. So listen, hey, I don't want to hold you. I just wanted to come on here and give you a list of companies that you should be looking at right now. Please don't wait until 2026 and say to yourself, man, I wish I had done that. If I had, no, just go ahead and start doing your research today, right? Do your research today. I don't care if you're using Morningstar. I don't care if you're using whatever Yahoo investing. I don't care what you use. Do your research. Make a plan. Know what you're looking for, right? Don't just take my advice on what to buy. I do not give advice on what you should be investing in. That's not what I'm doing, right? So you can never come back and say, well, smart money, bro, let's look at what he told us to invest in. No, I'm not telling you to invest in anything. I'm telling you to do your own research on Nvidia's competitors. And I gave you about 30 of them, 25 of them in this video, right? Things that you should be thinking about and you should start looking at. I'm going to do a little bit of it for you. I'm going to spike up your spidey senses, right? And get you thinking, but you still got to go do your own research based on your own portfolio, based on your own goals and your own risk tolerance level and all that good stuff, right? I want you to be an intelligent investor, and an intelligent investor doesn't listen to a guy on YouTube and go buy stocks. That's not what an intelligent investor does. An intelligent investor takes in information, goes and studies, goes and reads, goes and looks, go Google, do the Googling, pull up the 10Q or 10K, go research what the CEO said and what the CEO is doing and what market and industry they're in. This is what an intelligent investor does. And I want you to be an intelligent investor. Don't rely on me. Please don't rely on me. Right? Somebody said Nvidia's competitors are their customers. Absolutely. Because that's something you got to think about, Vancouver. If your customer is your major competitor down the road, then every time you sell to your customer, you are selling them your processes and procedures and equipment, and you're telling them what you're doing. So if your customers have billions of dollars to replicate or outdo what you're selling them today, how soon is it going to be before your customers are going to be on your heels? These people that say Nvidia is 10 years out in front of Apple, Nvidia is 10 years out in front of Intel. Not really. Right? Nvidia is 10 years out in front of Google. Not really. Because Google is your customer, and your customer has $1 billion and a research department to rival nobody on the planet who can do what they have to do, and they can throw all the money they want to throw at replicating similar technology. right? If you just do a little bit of research on Microsoft, Microsoft is not out there creating a whole bunch, inventing a whole bunch of stuff. They're just taking what other people do and making it better. They're just taking what other technologies that are established and out there and improving upon it. Why and how? Because they have the money, they have the bandwidth to actually do the improvements. So, yeah, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, these are all NVIDIA's customers. But it ain't going to be long before their customers are going to be able to do what they're doing. You're thinking 10 years. Some of you thinking 10 years. I'm thinking 2 or 3 years because technology moves fast. And when you got the money to do what you got to do and throw all this billions of dollars at research, it may not be as hard as you think to improve upon and improve upon. That's, we're talking competition here, and improve upon what you're currently buying from Nvidia. But this is what we have to be thinking about as consumers, as investors. We got to be thinking about these things, right? Somebody said if Microsoft makes their chip, that's 20% of the revenue gone. Let's see. I typed have a good evening all. Good. Have a good evening to you, C. White. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. NVIDIA is getting great publicity to the point where if they ever get beat at their own game, they will always be the runner-up, in my opinion, because they have so much equity in our minds and memory. Yes, they do have a lot of equity in our heads right now. Absolutely. So do you think Jensen thought of this and don't have anything up his sleeves? No way. Jensen has something up his sleeves. Matter of fact, let me see if I can go here real quick. I'm just going to share this and I'm going to let you guys get out of here, but I want to share this with you guys real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Let me share my screen here. Jensen is a smart dude, right? He's no dummy, right? I'm sharing my screen if you're not on YouTube right now. Here's Jensen. Jensen Huang says NVIDIA has a plan for competition. Despite recent headwinds, the street is still bullish on NVIDIA. Was this written today? I think this is today. It says at yesterday's NVIDIA shareholder meeting, the company's executives were frequently asked how the firm would maintain its position against rising competition. The CEO replied that the chip maker is concentrating on data centers and seeking to find new markets for its artificial intelligence, AI chips. By the way, did you hear? I don't know if you heard this or not, but NVIDIA has been, I think there was it India or somewhere that NVIDIA can now sell their chips. I mean, there's new markets opening up around the world. NVIDIA, I'll read it. Huang reported that NVIDIA's current domination of the AI chip space is due to large multi-billion-dollar investments that it has made it in itself that it's made for over a decade. Moreover, the chip maker NVIDIA, which used to concentrate on making graphics processors for video games, right, and creatives, has transformed itself into a data center focused firm. Meanwhile, Huang asserted that the total cost of NVIDIA's AI chips is cheaper than competing products despite their very high price tags. That's because they perform better than competing processors and cost less to maintain. How long will that last is my question to you as an investor. Also, NVIDIA is looking to identify new markets for its chips. Including industrial robots, and it's seeking to form many alliances in order to accomplish their goal. All right. So here's the deal. Huang has a plan for competition and for competitors, right? It's there. There's other stories I could go into, but I won't. The point is that yes, he has a plan. He's not dumb. He's been around a long time. He's smart. He knows it. He knows they're coming on his tail quickly. He knows his competitors are going to be right there, right? They're out there. As investors, we got to know about them. I gave you a bunch on this video. I hope this information was helpful for you guys. I hope this conversation is helpful for you. Just to give you an enlightenment as a smart, intelligent, wise investor, the other players in the game that you should be looking at right now who may be on the rise. Now, I didn't go over the small companies. I went over a lot of the bigger companies. If you didn't get it, rewind this video back to the beginning. You guys, be sure to hit the like button for me, right? We've had more than 400, 500, 600 people come in here. Hit the like button for me. Smash it. Just tap it for me. Do me that favor, guys. Listen, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Check out the description box below on YouTube for my partner, Mint Mobile. Less expensive premium wireless services, Mint Mobile. Check them out in the description box below. Also, hey, drop me a comment. Let me know. What's your take on who do you think is the competitor? Drop it in the comment of the video after the video goes off. When we go off here, just drop that comment and let's have that conversation. I appreciate you guys' participation in the chat. Really helpful for a new person who's looking to invest, maybe somebody who's teetering on the edge of maybe getting into some of these technology stocks. I appreciate you guys providing that information in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This video, this channel wouldn't be what it is without you, Jay, without you, Vancouver, without you, who else? Juicing with Jay, without you, Sam, without you, Dodge J, Leon. Listen, check out the debate tonight, guys. Be a fun one. We're gonna come back like next week, probably in a week or two. We're gonna be talking about some of that stuff, what this economy could do based on those candidates that we have in America for president. We'll talk a little bit about that, but also check out some of the other videos below in the description box, guys. And as always, I appreciate you more than you know. Listen, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.